Hello everyone, this is PC Death Gamer. Welcome back to another episode of Higurashi. Last we left off, of course, well, we finally decided to go back to school, and yeah, we were going, okay, I don't care who it is, we're going to not let them kill us, basically. So, regardless of my opponent being a human or curse, I won't let it kill me. As if I would just bend over and give in, for no good reason now. Keiichi, you've been making a really weird face. Why, I wonder. Inhaling sharply upon hearing Ren's voice, I came back to my senses. Before I realized it, we were already at the entrance. Shaking my head a few times, I exercised all those terrifying thoughts. No matter how I looked at it, there's no way Rena could have done such terrible things. It's like I was trying to felicitate myself. You okay? Alright. Oh, I would say. Trap. This slid open. A blackboard eraser loaded with chalk dropped down on my head the moment I stepped into the classroom. Chalk dust went into my eyes, inducing a brief moment of agony. Oh, ho, ho, ho. How befitting for the tyrant Kenichi. Good morning to both of you, Keiichi, Rena. Good morning, Sakata, Rika. Not quite in the mood for it. I didn't really react to Sakato's trap. Sakata braced herself as I passed by, expecting me to attack her. She seemed a bit disappointed as I simply walked by silently. Was this? Was this how discouraging indeed? Keiichi doesn't seem back to his usual self yet. Yeah, take it easy on him for today, Kei. Suddenly there was a slap down on my shoulder. It hurt a bit. Mion. Hey, Keiichi. Did you get enough rest? It was Mion. Mine was full of the stuff about Rena, but Mion was also a party of interest. Here, Keiichi. That hawkish gaze from yesterday. Yeah, morning. What's with that energetic green? Did you eat the mochi I brought you? Because I ate them. I'm like this. Those words were itching to blurt out. I really just didn't have the appetite. I ate a few, but quite a lot were left over. Huh? What about the homework? Did you have an answer which one was Rena's? Can't believe you forget your homework, Keiichi. Sheesh, then we can't help it. Time for a penalty. Flushing a lurid smile, Mion returned to her seat. There was nothing from our changes that would cause our classmates to suspect anything was amiss. Well, of course, anyone listening to our conversation until this morning wouldn't see anything suspicious. That was why it was so frightening. They acted in a way that, regardless of whatever happened to Keiichi Maibara, no one would ever suspect them. That fact had me terrified. Soon the teacher came. After she asked how I felt and took attendance, another dull, ordinary day began. Yay! Let's keep this going. So I know we're not at the end of the chapter. This free study period was a convenient time to consider where I stood. I gently closed my eyes and pondered the ridiculous position I was in now. First of all, what I shouldn't forget was how dangerous of a situation I was in. I've fallen out of favor with them. After interacting with Higurashi multiple times, I could see as I was getting closer to the heart of the matter. The warning yesterday with the mochi was a good indicator of that. No, calling the warning was just my habit of understating things. Probably had no meaning beyond stunting my progress and buying them some time. Until they had a method of completely erasing me, they were just bidding their time. Even though they were keeping me under their thumb with threats, it didn't change the fact that I knew too much. The chilling sensation of my desk made me recall Satoshi Hoji, the boy who was using this seat until last year when he disappeared. Was he also similar to me? Did he learn something he shouldn't have and was erased? Damn! I wouldn't let them get rid of me so easily. Never. But were they really trying to kill me? I had these contradictory feelings for a while now. Even though I suspected them, I felt I had to cover for them. With all their suspicious behavior, a morning like this just made it all seem like an elaborate hoax. No, it's just what I want to believe. Can my friends coming for them? Or life was in danger, or was it? Actually, I was debating the wrong point. Given my current situation, those points were something that should have been deliberated on a long time ago. But really, Rena and the rest of them, were they actually aiming to kill me? Little voice inside me continued to torment me with these unresolved trains of thought. Are you an idiot, Keiichi? The answer should be obvious. But maybe that sewing needle might have been just an accident, right? How could you screw up and drop a sewing needle into a piece of mochi? The benefit of a doubt can only go so far. But if Renamio had acted and behaved suspiciously, but maybe it was all some sort of misunderstanding. What kind of misunderstanding? It wasn't just suspicious, it was outrageous, blunderous, right? Rena just corrected me for lying, and Mia only asked me about what I had for lunch. Rena was standing outside our door, eavesdropping, for a good hour, you know. She was probably just waiting for my phone call to end. For a whole hour outside your room, and is it normal to go home afterwards without saying anything? Nothing. Heh. You heard from Oshi, didn't you? About what Rena did at her former school? But at the hospital, she said it was Oshi's fault. Get out, Keiichi, my bro. Don't you realize they're out to kill you? Nah. I apparently blurted those words out. Hearing myself say that so directly left me dumbfounded. For a few minutes afterward, I had to look around to check if anyone else heard it. My little slowly cut a little too close to the truth. Even though I could feel the murderous intent from Rena and others, part of me somewhere was still trying to deny that. This late in the game, such hesitation could be fatal. I knew that. But I was just your average student, a man living his normal, ordinary life. Do you think I could suddenly believe that my friends, who I've been happily laughing together with up until last Sunday, now intended to kill me, right? You're too soft, Keiichi. This time I remembered to keep my voice down so I could only hear it. There was one thing I now understand. I understood. I was too soft. I didn't completely understand how dangerous Rena and the rest of them were. No, I wasn't trying to understand. I was too soft for not listening to Oishi when he was earnestly showing me the heart of the matter. I didn't listen because I was too busy pretending to be dejected. I didn't comprehend it. I was just running away. I didn't comprehend it, so nobody had any notion to try and kill me. I needed to get rid of such naive thoughts. So I made that resolution. I heard the bell signal at the end of class. So soon, the day was already over. I didn't recall eating lunch or doing anything in class. Our friends were putting their desks together in position for preparation for club activities. Not long ago, I would probably have happily jumped into that circle. My Keiichi, how rude you to even think about leaving. The way Sakura spoke was so typical and familiar. It almost pain physically hurt. Huh, Keiichi? Is today not a good day? I wonder. We were going to win big together, huh? Seeing Ren's expression, which said she was really looking forward to today, was hard to take. Hey, Keiichi, maybe Oshi is just some honest jerk trying to separate me from the others by lying to me. Slap. Trying to switch such weak-minded thinking, I slapped myself in the face. Keiichi? Yeah. Was Rena really trying to kill me? I wish someone would tell me it was a hoax. I didn't care if I actually won or not. I just wanted someone to say it. Gosh, yeah, now you're weak-willed thought. How did I become so naive? Or this naive? Are you okay? Does your head hurt? Or are you alright? Does your head hurt? Apparently that was how my inner dilemma appeared. Rena, you're pale. Can you make it home by yourself? Maybe should I accompany you home? I wonder. No, it's okay. Sorry. I can get home by myself. Just have the meeting without probably hearing that I wasn't going to participate in the club meeting. Me unprompted and unhappy. Probably unhappily. Since Keiichi is so bent on a revenge match, we were even going to play that deduction game from before too. Keiichi doesn't have the burning desire for a rematch? How pathetic. I wouldn't fall for some dumb tot. Without even a real retort, I just grabbed my bag and was about to get up. Someone's hand perched itself gently on my head. Rika, Keiichi doesn't seem to be well. How very unfortunate. It was Rika. She was stretched up as far as she could, doing her best to pat my head with her small hand, or petite hand. Ugh. Can't even talk today. What the hell? It felt so nice, which made things even harder. Sorry, everybody. See ya. That's all I said as I quickly left the classroom. They said something to me as I was leaving, but I couldn't make it out. I managed to make it all the way to the entrance in that state of mind. Took out my shoes, put them on, and went forward. Heart and I heart Keiichi, my bar. They were, for some unfathomable reason, trying to kill me. God damn it! I still can't talk. They were planning something dubious, watching my every move. But I couldn't hate them, because weren't they my friends? Part of me laminated my naivety. Well, another part laminated the fact that I had lost something important by laminating over it in the first place. I felt like my conscience was being ripped out of my body. If this was what Urashiro's curse was like, then it was just too harsh. Hey Urashiro, I was wrong for not believing your curse, but I believe in it now, completely. Your curse does exist, so seriously, give me a break. Beg you, come on. Too late. Come on. Yeah, we get the little walk animations. Dinner was unusually bland. It had no flavor or aroma. The miso soup was normally tantalized my appetite, instead tasted like nothing but boiled water. Dad was eating with us that night. It's a rare occurrence in this household. When he got into his work, he ate, slept on his own schedule. Cool stuff getting mixed up. My dad never cared about the time. Since my dad was at the dinner table, it's either meant he had just reached a good point to take a break, or he was in a slump. So yeah, he just doesn't understand the motivation creators have. Your partnership was just a verbal agreement, wasn't it? If it was so hard to agree on things, why not just end it? Feel like it's an industry with a lot of back scratching, but when it gets in the way, business doesn't work. I wasn't able to pick out much of my mom and dad's conversation, but I could tell it wasn't a very pleasant topic. That, of course, made the disgusting food even less appealing. Sorry about that noise. Staring listfully at the exchange between my parents, my mom wandered off to the same thought process I had going on all day long. So we went back to, okay, are they trying to kill us or not? While we're eating, really? Friends close to me? No. They used to be friends, but I could no longer trust them. Right now, I was greatly lacking in allies. People I trusted, people I could depend on when push came to shove. They were something I just didn't have. Having just one ally would have been incredibly reassuring in the currently hopeless situation I was in. I put down my chopsticks and looked over at my parents, who were still talking about work. A reverse course of action that came to mind was to tell my parents everything. Currently, there wasn't a single person from town I could trust 100%. That meant the only people I could trust were my parents. But if I told them everything that happened up until now, would they understand? Rena, for example, a neighborly Rena who was so diligent in looking after me, came to get me every day, and sometimes brought over a share of what she made. How could I explain that she wanted to kill me? No matter how I explained, it would probably be difficult for anybody to comprehend. My somewhat energetic dad wouldn't understand, and my high-strung mother would probably drag me off to a psychiatrist. Blink of an eye. Sadly, that was the amount of trust that existed in our relationship. Even they did come to understand what could they possibly do. Unless they could uncover the truth, they wouldn't be able to protect me. By informing them of these unnecessary things, I'll be putting my parents in danger as well. Considering that the victims in past incidents were often married couples, couldn't even joke about it. For an entire member of our family to have an accident, or to just vanish into thin air, it was easily possible in town. What was important here was that knowing something unnecessary put you in danger. The most unsettling question was, how did they know that I knew? As long as they didn't know, my parents might not fall victim. That was one way to think about it, I guess. At least that it was like that in my case. After I found out, things started becoming odd. In other words, it meant the following. As long as my parents didn't know anything, nothing would happen to them. As long as my parents were here, this house would be safe haven for them. I knew these were just assumptions based on conjunction, on top of conjunction. One is house to be a safe haven. That was the pinnacle of my weak-willed method of thinking. I had to concede that it was not completely safe. It was only safer than the outside. I knew I couldn't rely on my parents. No, I couldn't risk getting my parents involved. There was only one person who could be my ally, would be Higurashi. Him and him alone. He was the only person who understood the situation I was in. He didn't care so much about my safety, but he was, without a doubt, passionate about solving this case. It's a bit frustrating. Higurashi was basically the whole reason I was in this mess. Now to get out of it, I had to rely on him. Meaning it was all going according to his devices. It was just my job to look appetizing while bobbing and waste his bait. Then when the fish start gathering around, Higurashi would pull up the big haul. Yay. It was slightly infuriating, but even I thought that was the best course of action. So then, what should I do? Patience is the first rule of fishing. Just keep waiting until the fish actually bites. But I wasn't simply bait. There was a lot of ways for me to struggle before being devoured. When they struck, I needed to somehow dodge just enough and tag out to Higurashi. No question, it was going to be hard. The timing to bring Higurashi and would be difficult. He was in the city, not town. So if I phoned him in my moment of need, it would take him about 30 minutes to reach me. So I need to run away for those 30 minutes. For example, if we set up a rendezvous point or a dire situation or something, just to hide out there until Higurashi arrives. Okay, I can almost see it now. I was still being chased around in the dark by boogeymen, but now I knew which way to go. I would never have imagined this would be so reassuring. Oh yeah. Probably best if I had a concealed weapon for when things got rough. Typically that would call for a switchblade. But that wasn't too reassuring for combat. Also, since it was recognized as a weapon by the public, it wasn't good. Really, when the time comes, a long weapon like a bat will work in my favor. I remember there was a metal bat at school. I could be confident with that when push came to shove. If I pretend I was practicing my swings, then it would be suspicious for me to always carry it around. Go to school early tomorrow and secure it. Just possessing a weapon may be enough to deter them. Also, one more thing. Insurance. It could be something like a note or memo. I could write down everything that's happened as a sort of journal. In case I suddenly vanished, the journal would be left behind. My journal, in his possession, Higurashi should be able to avenge my death. I left my parents engrossed in a conversation about work and went back to my room. Tore out a piece of paper from a notebook and made my way to the desk. Last time I wrote a journal was for summer homework in elementary school. And off chance something bad happened, the police could use my diary as a lead. So I should only write down the facts. How should I start? Jot down my thoughts as they came. I, Keiichi Murabara, in fear for my life. It made me laugh nervously. It was a line that showed up often in detective stories. I never even dreamed that I would be in the type of situation where I'd write it myself. I do not know why they are after my life. Renan and others were suspicious, but I had no proof. And that's why I couldn't write anything more. I laughed wildly at myself for writing such a passage draped in mystery. Will the police be able to get the hint from reading this enigmatic passage? I can only pray that they would. What I prayed for the moment, though, was that this journal never needed to play its part. Here I laughed nervously. It was too simple, so I wrote down one more line I just thought of. The only thing I know is that it has to do with Oroshiro's curse. Was that too much? Probably shouldn't write more than that. If I wrote down any more, then it would seem I was just delusional. In order to appear to the reader, the person who had written this was a sound mind, I chose not to write anything else at that point. I just needed to add more. As I learned more about the truth, I folded the paper and thought about a place to hide it. By hiding it somewhere obvious, there was a chance that they would uncover it instead. On the other hand, if it was in too obscure a location, then there was a risk of nobody finding it at all. Then I decided to take the clock off my wall and stick my folded note on the back of it with scotch tape. After that, I put the clock back into its normal position. Yeah, it didn't look like anyone was sitting behind it. Now I needed to set it up such that if anything happens to me, my parents could find it. I looked at it from countless different angles until I was satisfied and made my way downstairs. Okay, everyone, I was going to leave this here. I do hope you all enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like or a comment below. And of course, we're going to be having the next episode come out here soon. So, anyway, this is Peace Together. As always, hope you enjoyed. Keep playing on. See yous.